Yo, we finally in here. Technical difficulties dealing with a new system with the stream, y'all. So my brother Lorenzo reached out. He wanted to have some conversation about current events, what's going on in the world. So I'm gonna play this short video clip first before I let him go in. Give me a minute.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Chad J. Gibson, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about philosophy. Or rather, I'm going to be talking about a certain part of philosophy, a rather scary but interesting part, but a part that I thought I'd share with you nonetheless. Today, we're going to be talking about the Hegelian dialectic. I'm going to explain where it comes from and what it means and how it impacts you and me. Let's do this. The Hegelian dialectic was named after a German philosopher named Friedrich Wilhelm Hegel. I won't go too much into his philosophies, but he spoke a lot about the relationship people have, sort of master and slave relationships, and the nature of being and so on. But I'm not going to go into that today. What I'm going to be talking about is the Hegelian dialectic itself. So when it comes to this lovely bit of philosophy, it's quite revealing. What it basically stands for is problem, reaction, solution. And this is something that the lords and rulers
Alrighty then. I don't know why that
ruling class of the world have always used to control the masses. It's something that's commonly used, I'm sure, even today. It's basically the language that those who want to control you are going to use to control you while making you think that you are in control. So the first step is the problem. Those who want to control you are going to either create a problem, or they're going to make a problem that's already in your society a lot worse than what it is. And they do that by step 2, the reaction. The reaction is where they show you the problem. So think of it as the media reporting on a big problem that's going to cause a lot of issues for you and your country and your people. That is the reaction. What they're doing is they're waiting to see the public's reaction. What they want is the public to react and the public to ask, whatever will we do to solve this problem? And then comes step 3, solution. That is when the ruling class, the people in power, decide to give you a solution. And this part they might have already thought of before even the problem began. See, if it was the case where they created the problem, then they already know the solution to the problem. And the solution often benefits them more than it benefits you. So there you have it. Problem, reaction, solution. One of the most well-known examples of this is probably what happened in Nazi Germany. You see, the problem was that they needed everyone to unite. They needed Germany to unite, that there was a common evil enemy, and so they found a problem. You see, the German people were already somewhat resentful of the Jewish people, because it seemed that they had wealth when Germany was struggling. So all they had to do is demonize the Jews, and after that, they had their problem. The Jews were their problem. So what they did then is create a reaction. So they started to spread propaganda. Once propaganda started to spread, it created a reaction in the general population. They had issues, and it was a growing anger in these people. And so they gave them a final solution. I don't think I need to go into what their final solution was, but you can kind of see what happened here. They created a problem, people united against that so-called problem, and they gave them the solution to the problem. The solution to the problem for them was more control. They were able to do that and gain more control over everyone's lives because why not? That's what they wanted. They wanted more control. So here's a very interesting quote that might help you see what I'm trying to say here with this philosophy, if you haven't already guessed what I'm trying to get at. This quote was from former commander-in-chief of the National Socialist Luftwaffe, Hermann Göring. Why? Of course the people don't want war. Why should some poor slob on a farm want to risk his life in a war when the best he can get out of it is to come back to his farm in one piece? Naturally, the common people don't want war, neither in Russia, nor in England, nor, for that matter, in Germany. That is understood. But after all, it is the leaders of the country who determine the policy, and it's always a simple matter to drag the people along. Whether it is a democracy or a fascist dictatorship, voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leaders. That is easy. All you have to do is tell them they are being attacked and denounce the peacemakers for their lack of patriotism and exposing the country to danger. It works the same in any country. So of course there he's talking about war. So it's a little different. But think about this whole idea, problem, reaction, solution. Where do you think it could be used in, I don't know, events other than war? Perhaps terrorism, perhaps disease. Who knows where it can be used? All you need to do is create a problem or make a problem worse than it is. Then tell everybody about it, get the public to react, to become fearful, and then give them the solution. Now the question is, my question to all of this, how often do you think our leaders, our people in power have used this Hegelian dialectic? How often indeed? Of course, I could name a couple that seem somewhat suspicious, but I'm not going to, because that would be conspiracies, and I don't think that's quite allowed on this platform. But I think you can think for yourself. There's been a number of events throughout our lives that were somewhat world-shaking, that was somewhat big, shall we say. After each one of these events, ask yourself, who stood to benefit? Who got more power? And who lost more power? Every time something big happens in the world, it seems like it's always one way. More security, more control, more power to those in power, and less control, less power to us, the common, normal people. It's an interesting thing to think about, and it's an interesting thing when you look at history. Now, of course, I'm not saying that anything was lies or anything was truth. I can't prove any of that. All I'm saying is maybe next time there's a big emergency or something big happens that the media wants you to see, question it. Question all of it. Don't think for 1 second that those in power only have your best interest in mind. I'm sure there are some that do, but there are some that only want power, and they will do whatever they can to get that power, no matter what it takes, no matter how much fear they need to instill in your life, they will do it. And then, once the chains are too tight and you can barely breathe, you'll have nowhere to go, and you'll have nothing to do but their bidding. I feel we are slowly slipping down that road. I know it sounds extreme. I know it seems like, well, no way. There's no way we could go so far that we'd have some dictatorship or some insane controls and slavery and so on. But, those things didn't just start. None of that's just started. It wasn't just one day everything was normal, and then the next we had fascism, communism, all these crazy ideologies that completely want to control your life. No, it was a slow process. It was one little step after another. And I truly do wonder how many steps we are away from that.
Only 2 minutes left.
Anyway, that's the Hegelian dialectic. A bit of creepiness for your night or day, whenever you're watching this. Either way, it's worth thinking about. That's all from me. My name is Chad J. Gibson. Please do like and subscribe and comment down below what you think of this video, and if you have any ideas of how.
Yeah, I had to start out with that, man, because that makes sense to me. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Wow, bro. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. Hey, I done transitioned into a whole nother reality almost. Yeah, I was working with the juvenile detention center,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working with the DD population. So, and I was doing both of those jobs full time as supervisor in supervisor capacity. Since then, shit, man, I built wooden fences, privacy fences, gates, driveway gates,
Yeah,
and
I be seeing your work up on Facebook.
oh yeah, and that just came out of the annals of my subconscious mind, man, and it put me in a whole nother reality. So right now I'm grooving. I'm in my spot. Yeah, everything is everything.
Yeah,
And
I'm still trying to find my groove.
oh yeah, it's got to be rooted in some entrepreneurial. Uh, it's got to be rooted in something entrepreneurial, and really, it ain't just fences. It's not even fences that I do. I do shoot landscaping, gardening. I'll do house. I'll do like somebody move out of house, and landlord is trying to get the house ready for somebody else. I'll go in and clean that out. So it's a lot of stuff that I have submitted to gain that term, being an entrepreneurial, or as they say, being an owner of my business. So it's a lot of work, but it's right up my alley.
Right. I've been shooting my shot for a while at the entrepreneur. I've been through so many ventures. Right now, I'm private contracting, doing delivery and logistics.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I got sick at the beginning of the year, so I was out of commission for a while.
With COVID?
No, I had a double vascular surgery. So,
wow.
Yeah, they had to put 2 stents in my chest and 2 in one on each side of my groin. I lost all feeling in my right leg, bad down superior, bro. Couldn't even stop the car with my foot. I had to drive with my left foot all the way to the emergency room. Then couldn't get out the car. I had to call 911 from the emergency room.
Wow.
I came home 10 days later, bro, with a incision from my bottom of my stomach to the top to the bottom of my chest.
Wow. What is that? Is that something genetic or what is that?
You know, they say it got something to do with genetics, but also, you know, at one time I was almost 300 pounds. So
Okay. That's crazy.
yeah, so the cholesterol and all that. So my major artery, my aorta, was clogged, was blocked.
Oh shit.
So I was barely getting any blood flow from my stomach down.
Wow. Congratulations from shedding off that weight. That's a pod show.
Yeah,
To say
yeah.
how did you go? Because what is your weight now?
See, right now I'm probably about 180.
Wow, yeah, that needs to be a podcast, man. There's so many people dealing with weight, physical weight, which me and you know, for the most part, all physical personifications are the negation or plus for something spiritual. So whatever is going on physical is spiritually based. And our people is definitely in the weight category. We know something is burdening our physical body. So that's an indicator that our spiritual man is somehow off balance. For the most part, that ain't always the case because, like you just experienced, you witness to genetics.
But I tell everybody when they ask me, well, how'd you look? I say, change your mind, you change your body.
See.
Simple. You change your mind, you'll change your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You know.
No, that's important, man. I know it's redundant because it's everybody always talking about weight and all this kind of stuff. But man, I think that's one of the most important conversations that Black people, especially Black women, need to have because they don't understand the impact of spirit. But that physical man, that physical burden, it's sort of saying you're taking on too much and you're not being mindful of it. You're taking much and you're not being mindful of it, and that can clog up other avenues and other pathways in your spiritual journey. It can absolutely clog it up or actually divert you from where you're going. So that's something that and I know Black people don't like to talk about it because they like saying live your best life and do what you do, and if you big, live the big life. Don't be ashamed that you big. And I ain't saying you should be ashamed that you're big, but you should consider your bigness. You should consider your weight and from where it comes and from whence it has come. And I think you'll make um, a more reasonable conclusion that you absolutely need to tackle this one day at a time, one meal at a time.
Mm-hmm.
For the reasoning, like you just said, for whatever the consequences if you don't reason is what I ain't saying throw no fear in front of nobody, but if you don't get it together, brothers and sisters, boy, it's gonna be
fear. Sometimes fear got it, like when they be talking about they go, YOLO, you only live once. I say, no, you live every day. You only die once.
Yeah, you
live every day.
Well, you have existed on this plane multiple times. On this plane, you have existed. Provably, you have lived on this realm multiple times, but because people don't engage the human capacity, they never get to these kind of conversations that's deep in and of themselves as to not only are you're going to continuously live on this plane until you graduate. And that's a fact. That's a spiritual fact. And so if you don't get it done now, it's just going to be a burden for you on your next rotation. And it ain't, you can't hide. You can't hide it. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide from it.
So that brings me to a question. So what's the curriculum or the what's that shit they give you in class the first day?
The curriculum. Yeah.
Yes, they got another word. They got another
syllabus.
Syllabus. What's the syllabus? What's the syllabus? What's the syllabus? What's the curriculum so we can graduate? Like when I go to school, they'll tell me I need 4 credits of English, I need 3 credits of math, I need 2 credits of gym. They tell me what I need to get out of there.
Right.
What's the this for life?
Yeah, so it's in all the secret society manuals, it's in all of the fraternities, sororities, the
The things they try to, so the things they try to get us away from and scare us out of and tell us you're a bad guy if you even get into these groups or organizations, right? You talking about them? They might have some information about that.
no, no, I'm saying it's in plain sight, for real, if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in plain sight, because in today's society, people are looking for cryptic, hidden wisdom. They're looking for super deep stuff. They're not looking for the obvious. Like in Egypt, out of all of the awesomeness that was in their places of study and all of their divine places of gathering, the simple term came out of that called know thyself, right? There's nothing it's more simple, but it's powerful. Because number one, if you know yourself, who are you? You are a compilation of your forefathers and your ancestors. See, that leaps right up, that runs right past people conscious mind. What should I be working on? Well, a simple answer is, and it's cryptic, you should be working on what those that produced you have been working on for the last 10 eons, because you are the result of your DNA and your RNA.
Okay.
And that is an evolutionary process.
Okay, but you got a lot of people that's cut off. They can't think about ancestry past 400 years. So when you tell them to embrace them their ancestors, that's what they're doing. They're embracing that nigga mentality that I'm a slave, I'm a beat down, I can't never get over. So why am I trying? The white man this, the white man that. See, you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, some people got that third eye where they can see past that. But a lot of people, the majority of people that you see on a day-to-day basis they don't see past that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I ain't talking about just black people. I'm talking about white folks too. That's why they think they're so damn superior, because they can't think past 400 years.
Oh yeah. But in doing that, brother, that's the answer. The answer is, the manual and the syllabus is in your DNA and your RNA. That's that's a mystical statement. But when we break that down, the first thing we get into is, okay, the knowledge of yourself. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? And so what happens with that is an investigation, because your purpose is rooted in your capabilities, which you can't gather that unless you do some investigation and some research. Even if you're just dealing with yourself, even if you're selfish, you're not going to look at your.
Lorenzo, you're talking. But you're saying that is that you're having an audience of me and Dozier and Aki.
Right.
When your audience is not, when they say my lineage is blood, my lineage is Crip. My lineage is down the way. I'm gonna stay down here. This is my father down here. My grandfather was down here. You know what I'm saying? They can't think past. You can't take them to Egypt.
Right. Well, but remember, we're not that. That's the deep statement. The other statement is, what is my purpose? So they could have that conversation. I'm a blood in. I'm a blood out. I'm a Crip. And so we'll say, okay, let's deal with that. So reasonably, let's talk about it from A to Z. And I think in that conversation, you're going to get a humble response inevitably. You don't try to run them away from where they want to go, even if they're in hell and they want to start in hell. Me and you will start in Egypt, but they want to start in the hell conversation, which is, nigga, I'm a thug. I'm a thug. I'm thug life. I'm from 116th or whatever. I'm tough. I'm a blood. I'm a Crip, whatever. Let's stay with that. Okay, let's talk about that. What does that mean? And you make them have that conversation with you. Most people ain't gonna want to have it. They gonna want to, let's get a drink, let's smoke a blunt, they're gonna try to divert from dealing with the issue of them. You see what I'm saying? And they don't, and what is the, so if you're blood, okay, so what does that mean? Okay, inevitably, what's the consequence of being a blood? And see, they're gonna run into all kind of stone walls with respect to how has that worked for the rest of your kind? How has that worked for the rest of your people? And it's not charging them or judging them. It's trying to get them to become aware, because in Egypt, the knowledge of self was trying to get the student to become aware of where they were. You think you're doing good. You think you're having a wonderful time. You're shooting dice. You're gambling. You're losing rent money. You're losing money for your kids' school clothing. You're losing money to eat healthy. Okay. So, but they're not conscious of that. And so what that brother was saying on your link in the first place was they try to tell you what the issues are and what the solutions are. And that's where the matrix comes in, because being in the matrix means you're in an illusional world and you're not even aware of it. You're not even conscious that you're literally out of your mind. And that's what the matrix does to you. But if me and you want to help somebody, right? If we want to help somebody in Christianity, they say, get saved. The word saved is the Greek word sozo, and it means to be delivered. Not delivered from knowing Jesus. It means to be delivered from what the human capacity of the individual is. So in other words, you can't save me if you don't help me from alcoholism, because alcoholism is what I need to be delivered from. It doesn't matter what you, the rescuer, needed to be delivered from. The word sozo means to be delivered. And that's an anatomical question. What do you need to be delivered from? Cholesterol, sugar. You see what I'm saying? What is it that this person need to be delivered from, because it's crippling you? It's crippling your capacity to be. See, because everybody want to live their best life, but everybody is not aware of life. They're not even, they'll say, man, I'm trying to live my best life. Well, define to me in a remedial way. What is life? And so the more you get people to conversate about this, the more they will confess that they are indeed lost and confused, if not totally out of their mind. They'll say it. Confession is good, but yeah, confession is good. So what you say?
That's when the diversion comes.
Yeah. So, but you don't, but when you're trying to deal with people and their issues, you don't want to let them run from you. And what'll run a person from you first is judging them. But I don't judge them. I'll let their own conversation judge them. You know what I'm saying? So you'll say, so what is it that you, what are you trying to become? They'll say, man, I'm just out here trying to survive. Okay. So how's that working for you? And you just try to get them to become aware, because even in the secret societies, you're trying to wake a person up. You're trying to pick a person up from a fallen state. You're trying to rescue a person, but the only way you can do it is to make them become conscious of their status.
That they're
You hear me? That's right. In the Bible, in a secret society code, it's put this way. It says, Adam, where are you? Now, any blind person, any unlearned person understands that the creator of the universe knows everything before and after and when everything is going on. So it don't need to ask you where you are, because it knows this. But the question is posed to you so that you can use your kingdom, right? Because that's where the kingdom of heaven, the script says, seek the kingdom first, because it's going to make you aware of where you are, of where it's going to make you aware. So that's why the first question ever asked in this coded secret society tool is, Adam, where are you? Now we know the word Adam is a code word for human beings. It has nothing to do with male or female, because in Genesis 5, chapter 5, verse 2, it says he called their names Adam. He called their names Their. He called both of them Adam. So Adam is not a gender terminology, more so than it is an archaeological species terminology.
That's
so, but
we're I say
right.
I wouldn't even use the word both. I would just mean it more than one. It could have been.
That's right. Human beings. So where are you? So now you got to go into the kingdom. Now, most people are out of their minds because they're unconscious. You see what I'm saying? Most people in secret societies, you're picking a person up, you're trying to pick them up. And in religion, you're trying to wake them up, but you're trying to bring them to the consciousness of their status. If you can make a person see where they are, they can then help. They can ask for help. According to all spiritual information that I've read, you are never supposed to impose your remedy or problem alertness on anybody. In other words, you see a person a drunk, it is not your job to go up to them and say, your job to go up to them and say, man, what's wrong with you? You need to stop drinking. Because truth be told, drinking ain't their problem. Drinking is a band-aid for the child molestation they went through, for the physical and spiritual abuse that they went to, the verbal abuse that they went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
even in the connection when you was talking about the secret societies, you hear a lot of people say, and they'll talk about secret societies, like you say, they belong to church. I'm like, that's the first degree of a secret. That's the first degree. You know,
right.
I mean,
Right.
when you go into Masonic lodge, the first question is, do you believe in God?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you come on in. You already you come in the lodge after that. So you're
Right.
in the lodge, you know. So the church or your religion is the first degree of the
Right.
secret society. And that's why we Masons say, you know, we try to make good men better men.
That's right. And they want to know, and the reason why they ask that question is they want to know. See, because if you don't acknowledge you believe in God, all the tools that they have of redeeming you, they're not going to be able to use those things. But if you say you at least believe in God, I don't care how you believe. The fact that you believe, I know I can work with you because I can speak your language. But in the Quran says, speak the language which the people understand. So, I mean, I know a lot of people probably are anti-Dr. Malachi Z. York, but the beautiful things come out of broken people. Beautiful things come out of broken people. And one of the things he said to them is he said, I come giving you what you wanted so that you would want what I have to give. So you come to a person, you see what I'm saying, based off where they are.
And he demonstrated that too, because he represented the Catholic. He was a Moor. He was Islam. He went to everything, you know.
Right. And he came to people, but look how he came to him. He said, I came giving you what you wanted so that you would want what I have to give.
That's why
now naturally
he demonstrated it. That's what I'm saying. He actually demonstrated it.
That's right. So he came, even if they was in the street, he had knowledge on their level to start the awakening or the awakening process. Because if I can wake you up, you see, because when you wake up, you're in the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom is this is not no final destination. The heaven is not a final destination. It's a place where you go get things so that you can get to a final destination. So the kingdom is where you go to get the supplies that you need to become who you think you need to become to live your quote unquote best life. So the kingdom, this is a place where you go into, right? If you go into the kingdom, then it says the kingdom of heaven. Heaven is a place where ships dock at. Heaven is a place where ships dock. You can look it up in the Strong's Concordance. Heaven is the root word of heaven is haven. Haven is where ships dock. What do you mean, Lorenzo? That's a place where things are transported to so that you can didactically break them down and investigate their worth and their necessity to what it is that you need to do your business. When you go
Solomon's temple.
Yeah.
No, I'm just drawing correlations between as you speak in religion with the secret society. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
connecting the dots.
It's different language, but they're talking about the same concept.
That's right. So if you go to heaven, you're going to go into your consciousness, and your consciousness, if you interpret it as it is, right, you're going to say, damn, I'm fucked up. You know, I don't like my daddy. My relationship with my mother is squandered. I don't eat right because I'm always sick. I'm always angry. So I don't have no connection with controlling. I don't have no control. Self-control is one of the first levels of the coming out of a human, because we start out with
You
all
keep
emotions and
talking, I'll have you right back. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I can hear you.
yeah. So all of us as human beings, we start off broken and all over the place as emotional beings. We're running amok. We're the little babies running around. But as they grow and they come to the age of awareness, they start to get a sense of control over what it is that they have been placed into this body. They start having more control over their, going to the restroom. They get control over their anger and their happiness, because you have to, at the age of 7, you have to have some type of control over your emotions, your body, so that you can control your using the restroom, right? Um, Throwing up, you have to gain some kind of control, where babies, they don't have that control up until a certain point. So some of the first degrees of being a human being is not having no control. Then a sign for becoming a human being is, a sign is you have control, right? So when you have control, that's a message for you. Oh man, I'm starting to wake up. I'm starting to get it because I have control. Now, as a young man, we know that one of the Morse terms for being a male is the acronym MAN. The man, the name MAN is an acronym. It's not a name per se. And it means master of your emotions, which makes you able to do things. And when you're able to do things, you build nobility, because you're only noble for what you do, not for what you're planning to do, not what you're talking about doing, and not what you're promising to do. Nobility is earned by what you do, right? And being able to do something means you're only able to do something because you have gained mastery over your divine self, which can do anything. But you can't do nothing if you don't master your anger, your emotional, or your happiness, your blissfulness, because being too happy at the wrong time it can get you killed.
And the Shriners are called nobles. So
That's right, because of what they do for the homeless, because of what they do for the sick, the impaired, right? Um, so
I'm just making
that,
the
that
correlations with, you know what I'm saying? Just making
yeah,
the
I get it.
correlations. A
Yeah,
lot of
because
people, I be on this YouTube and they be, ah, he's amazing. He's bad. Don't listen to him. Get away from them people. I mean, it's just, and it's crazy. I was looking like, what do you, that don't even make sense. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, because they got all these conspiracy theories in their mind about reality, and they haven't done their own research. They haven't done their homework, because you got a lot of people that just don't want to become students of themselves, which, in order to be a human student, you got to be a geologist, you got to be a archaeologist, you have to be a Scientologist. You not science, not like in Scientology, but you must become scientifically inclined, because the human being is the sum total of everything that you're going to study on this planet, not without holding anything. If you're going to be a student of the human capacity, you got to speak to the issues of every molecule and every atom on this planet, which is in the body, the human body, in certain degrees. So when the Egyptians put that over all of their spiritual buildings, and as well as their educational academic buildings, they were, because it's a major statement. Know thyself. You hear me? Because, and if you ever come across a person that starts that conversation off with a selfish kind of, well, I went to Harvard, I went to Yale, you already understand this person don't know what they're talking about. Because a human being that is right now, me and you, are the sum total of where we came from. So you can't talk about you unless you talk about your mother and your father and their mother and their father. You can't talk about you unless you talk about the compilation of what it takes to make a human being, not just sex, the raw material that is included in the chemistry of a human. See? And so when you start dealing with that kind of stuff, it makes you a well-rounded student. See? And that's where most people, they just don't get it. So how you talking about me, like me and you could be talking about diet, But then if you ask one of us, do you know about the kidney? Do you know about the spleen? Do you know about the endocrine system? Do you know about the liver? Do you know about the heart? Do you see what I'm saying? How we gonna have that conversation with an unlearned person? You cannot. You can't even tell a person what is good for them to eat if they don't know their own anatomical structure. See?
Hey, like we used to do interviews, you know, 'cause like I said, I'm making these correlations in the lodge. My first question to every candidate that I interviewed was, tell me who you are without telling me your name.
See?
I want to know your name. I see your name right here. Tell me, but tell me who you are without telling me your
See?
name. Tell me who you are. That's my first question to everybody I ever said it. They ever said in front of me. That was the first question I ever asked everybody.
See? See? And that's because of their consciousness and their awareness of what they are aside from their physical body. You see what I'm saying? And and again, we're still staying on that conversation on, what is the syllabus for reconstructing the self? What is the syllabus for redirecting the path of the self? What is the syllabus for getting the self together, so to speak? Because the putting yourself together, Humpty Dumpty, right? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Who could have had a greater fall than the original people? There's not a greater fall than that fall, because the presuppose that you were the original and now you are living as a byproduct of somebody else's ambitions or somebody else's plan is a great story to indulge in. What a great fall that is. So, what is it that has to happen to get this man to remember? Because to put this human back together, to redeem or sozo this person, you call it save, or to deliver this person,
or
you got to make them.
or sewing.
You got to. You say what?
Or sewing, putting it together.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, because you got to make this person remember. The word remember is remembering, putting back the parts. But you can't do it if you can't remember. So if you can't sit down and have a conversation and remember what it is that you're dealing with, then everything else is an illusion. You see what I'm saying? Because your issue ain't their issue. Your issue is yours. So the problem with the church is they don't understand the secret coded language that they're dealing with. If I save you, if I deliver you, I'm not only delivering you, I'm delivering a whole host of DNA, RNA, uncapacitated entities that are in you waiting for you to win so that they can win. I tell you a cryptic story on the story of Jesus, as this mythological story goes. When he died and went to hell, he rescued 500 souls. In the literature, they said 500 people that were dead came out of their graves after his 3 days in hell, or you call it Haiti. This is symbolic, because what it is saying is, because he went to Golgotha, the place of the skull. This is the place you got to go to start realizing what's going on. So he said it's finished. So you're dealing in your lower extremities, brother. You're dealing in your lower extremities trying to get a remedy. No, the remedy is in Golgotha, the place of the skull. So that's the final confrontation. So that when he said it is finished, I have become aware and I woke up. But when he woke up, the script says 500 other beings woke up. So when you get a remedy, when you fix your anger problem, great great grandmama didn't have time to finish it. Great great grandpapa didn't have the tools to finish it. When you finish it, you set the captives free, so to speak. So the burden of living is not selfish. You're living, it's a whole, how people be like, I put my city on my back. You know how dudes do when they come up and they make it. I mean, they don't really make it, but this is the matrix, because they get a big check signed to them. They think they're better when they get money, but the facts says that when people get money, they become worse than they were before they ever had a dollar. That's now that's not everybody because it ain't never all of anybody.
Right.
But me and you can go on record and count on our fingers and our feet that people that got money before they got their minds, right? We can bet that, and we can tell any person, hey, what you want to do? What you want to do, brother? I want to get paid. Oh yeah, that's what you want to do. Okay, so what you gonna do when you get paid? Oh man, I'm gonna start living. Okay. So where are you getting the reality of what you're saying from? Since you gonna do it, you ain't did it yet, because everybody is living off the inspiration of somebody else. So you make them tell that story, so they can inevitably say, well, what happened to him? Because you say you want to be Big Meech, Larry Hoover. So when they got that bread, what was the inevitability of their reality? And what you're saying is you're putting yourself in that same capacity because you're unconscious. If you was conscious, it ain't to say that you would diss them. You're gonna say that a different way. Because the first thing that me and you know, if we get money, we want to get our minds back. We want to get our souls back because your forefathers, the script was given to them. What will you do in exchange for your soul? Well, your ancestor said, shit, now give me some big titties. Give me a big ass. Give me a lot of money. See, I'll give my soul up for these illusionary remedies. You see? Because see, your soul is the entity you have in you to gauge your power source. And it will magnetize to you everything you need to deal with you. But if you give it up in exchange for money, money want more money. Power want more power. Lust want more lust. You see what I'm saying? But what will you give in exchange? They gave everything. Because look at what we have. Somebody gave up something. Somebody made a pact with the adversaries that say, listen, when you make a pact with me, you know, this ain't gonna turn out like you think.
Right.
You make this contract. If you make this contract, the industry with the industry is not gonna turn out how you think. But you let a brother say, man, when I get some money, I'm gonna be all right. Well, what you gonna do when you get some money? Ain't nail thing that they're gonna say that's gonna get their soul back together or gonna put them back together from the fallen state that was planned against them for the last 400 years. I would argue for the last 200 years. None of they ain't gonna pay for no a cardiologist to come and take and assess their body. They're not gonna get uh, uh, Indonesia, the person that will help them come back and learn how to deal with pain and loss and lack. They're not going to get a specialist in these areas. They're not even going to get a physical fitness specialist that is for physically fitting. You can't physically make a physical body fit if you don't deal with the energy that's fueling the body. See, that's called robbing. You're being robbed when somebody use every molecule to make your body stronger without making your soul more pronounced, because that's the strongest that you're ever going to be when the soul is woke up. So I don't want to just feed you protein. I want to give you some behaviors that is going to make you more accountable for what you do. You see what I'm saying? Well, if you're going to play football, I'm going to tell you right now, brother, I'm going to give you 4 years worth of good health because I can't do it because this is unnatural. It's unnatural for a person to play football forever. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you straight off, I'm not your true physical fitness instructor. I'm going to be your physical fitness instructor for the next 3 years, 4 years, if you're lucky. Now, if you Tom Brady and everybody on the team is blocking for your ass, or if you're a pretty boy Floyd receiver and you catch balls and run out of bounds real quick, other than that, bro, you ain't got that many years to look forward to. I'm on an average. I know we got supernatural people that make it 12 years, but I'm saying on an average, football is not to be engaged if you want to be healthy and live a long life. Just not, you see. But again, if you can't question people about what it is that they're even talking about, you have no chance to remedy them. You see what I'm saying? Because money is beautiful if you got your mind. Money is beautiful if you got good sense. Money is beautiful if you run things and don't let things run you. Money is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'll tell anybody in a minute. You know, if money is the root to all evils, let me get a root. Let me get a piece of that root. You see what I'm saying? But that's only because my mind is starting to matriculate and starting to make sense out of things. I ain't all the way there yet. You see what I'm saying? But it's starting to be reasonable. You see, So because if we reason, we have a chance. But if you can't get a brother to be real with you, hey, listen, this thing ain't even you're not even close. And most people don't want to be real. And that's what reasonable is. Reason is using the kingdom and all the chambers in the brain to come to a reasonable conclusion. You can't reason unless you're going in and out of the chambers of your cerebral cortex and your cerebellum. Because what else are you reasoning with? The antidotes for reasoning is in the hidden chambers of the kingdom, but they're not reasoning with that chamber. They're using a hallucination called the matrix that somebody gave them. Somebody told you to be like this and that this would happen, and it ain't never going to be. But they're going to tell you, man, if you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the pussy. Shut up. You see what I'm saying? You remember that? You remember that analogy? First you got to get the money, then you got to get the power, then you but we believe that shit because you done listened to that music too many times not to believe it.
It wasn't even the music, it was the movie.
right.
And
movie. See,
the movie inspired the music.
Yeah. Yeah, the myth, then the movie, because the movie is the result of the myth. So it's the myth, then the movie, then the music. You see what I'm saying? But what and then that leads us into kind of what we was alluding to as what's going on. The chickens are coming home to roots. There's a universal principle. You can't escape it. You can't you can't make it religious. You can't fake it. The university principle says whatever a human being sowed, that too he's going to reap it. You can't listen, I don't care you black, blue, purple, orange. If you sow a seed, you're going to reap. What you put out is what you're going to get back. And what you see in our community, number one, is the result of that. We have sown the seed of conflict, right? We've sown the seed of violence.
Not trying to cut your wisdom, but it's crazy. It's like we got that Hegelian dialect down there. That was one that was pulled on us.
That's right.
That's one because we had a group of brothers and sisters telling us, don't do this. That bitching and hoeing and all that old shit y'all sending that music, stop it. Remember, they bought a bunch of CDs and ran them over with bulldozers.
Right.
And that ain't do nothing but make us fight for pushing it, wanting it more. Remember, they got the specific lyrics put on them. You know, they did that for them. But we, the youth, we pushed for it and we pushed for it and we fought for it. How you gonna tell us we can't say what we want to say in music? But the Loris Tucker, Calvin Butts, all them brothers and sisters back then was telling us the right thing about this so-called hip-hop music and where it was going. And we fought the head tooth on it. Just not because of wisdom, but that just fits into how they.
But they hijacked. But remember, they hijacked it because where it came from and where it was going was good. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bats.
But that's what the old elders was trying to tell us. It just ain't the same. These hunkies ain't got their hands on it. They sending y'all to hell. that's what they were saying. And these was reverends and preachers and some congresswomen, and they were standing up saying, y'all don't know what's happening.
But remember, the hell that they was talking about and the hell that me and you talking about today was different. They were saying that the original hip hop artists were taking you to hell because they were taking you from Christianity and taking you from the popular voice in the black community. You see what I'm saying? So I think
there was a little bit of both, because you understand they were at the age where they seen it happen to rock and roll.
Okay.
They experienced. I think they were just enlightened. They, conscious. People just got conscious in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Like, these was brothers and sisters that was seen. They seen it. They knew who had took it over. They seen it being infiltrated. They seen the money it was making. They seen where they was taking it. That, you know what I'm saying? They seen that. I don't think it was just on a spiritual level. I just think they seen what was going on.
Oh, no doubt. That's what I'm saying. They hijacked it. And then they bent it to say, hey, listen, what is hip hop? Hip hop is the reality of the life that the people talking about it is living. That's what hip hop is. And we as rappers rap about hip hop. You understand? So what they did was, okay, so y'all are rapping what's going on. Okay. So the solution in that analogy, okay, you got people living a certain way, then people making other people aware about it by rapping about it. Okay, so the only reasonable thing to do is to fix it. Who keeps talking about rats in my front room? Rats in my front room. Okay, nigga, go get a trap. Okay, go get some poison. But they didn't do that. What they did is they diverted it and said, keep talking about it. A bitch is a bitch. A nigga is this. A hoe ain't a hoe, but this what a hoe is. Oh, fuck y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. The only reason we got beef is because somebody came in and hijacked the community to turn them against each other, to create the Bloods and the Clip was a Bloods and the Crips, the original gangs of whence all these other modern day gangs are operating out of, right? I'm talking about the deviant ones. I'm not talking about the Black Panthers coming from the protective of the Black Deacons of Defense. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about from that. I'm saying when these guys came in, they were sent in the community to cause conflict between people in the community. When in fact we had a momentum of working with each community, whether they be in our immediate community or not. We have something as Black people or melanated people. We have something in common wherever we are. But they diverted it from that and said, listen, you know, you ain't got no money. You need to get it however you can. But wait a minute, how we gonna get it however we can over Black love and self-respect and all of this kind of stuff? How we jumping over that? You know what I'm saying? How we getting money has a barrier. It's not by any means necessary. Being free is the term by any means necessary. The word snitch don't apply to telling on a nigga that's breaking into all the houses in the community. Snitch came between trying to become liberated and then going and talk to the feds. That's where the term snitching comes from. But look at how we use it now. If I'll stop y'all motherfuckers from coming in my backyard and breaking in my garage, all of a sudden y'all a snitch.
No, hell that. If you shoot me and I tell the police you shot me, I'm a snitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a snitch.
What
See,
are you talking about?
right. Yeah. See, everything is fucked up. But I've worked in an environment where I had to sit down and have that conversation with people. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, snitching is an agreed upon, you know, okay, so we all gonna rob this bank. We with it? Now, if we get caught, don't say nothing. Okay, so if you say something when we rob this bank, you're a snitch. You ain't a snitch because you seen a motherfucker drive by with all your money and you go tell the police, say they went that way. It's never been that. But these niggas so consciously drunk with reasoning, with the ability to reason. See, but again, we sowed the seed of unprinciple oriented teaching, and now we gonna pay for it. There's nothing you can do to stop it, brother. There's not a script, there's not a potion, there's not a fucking phrase, and there's not a concoction that you're gonna make to go and get this motherfucking energy in these kids to create total havoc. It's nothing you're gonna do, but that's good because it's one thing we know as warriors, as casualties of war, that needs to take place. That person is a casualty of war, and we need their soul to go back and get reinvigorated. Cause it ain't nothing you gonna do, brother. Try to go and tell them, hey y'all, man, listen, I need y'all to stop selling that dope. This nigga can't even use his mind. Where you gonna catch him at? Where you gonna rescue him from? Where you gonna sozo him? Where you gonna save him? What you gonna say? He said, I need to get that dope. But remember the other conversation we had. As soon as they get that money, they're not gonna go buy no good food. They're not gonna go to the motherfucking Whole Food. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna go get a cardiologist and say, hey man, my family has a history of heart failure.
I worked with him for over 25 years. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's why I just got out the business.
Yeah.
Got out the business, man. Like,
yeah. And Larry Hoover, which is one of the gangster disciples, I think so the GDs, but he has woken up since. And remember, he used to be the gangster's disciple, But now he's saying growth and development. He's woke, whatever it took, he's woke now. And he understands that the gain momentum came as a result of this society separating the man and the woman. That's where it came from. The incubation period was what y'all played the card, divide and conquer. And now you want to say the black family is having issues. No, the black family is the result of the premise for y'all bringing us here, which was to destroy the black family. So where there's no men, there's no discipline.
No control.
You see,
not to sound chauvinistic, but over the kids or the woman.
Yeah. And in order to be a man, you need to deal with your emotions, brother. You got to deal with your emotions. And the next thing you got to deal with is you got to deal with your fragile ego. Our ego is so fragile. And that's a part of the natural, as a man, you got to get over the fragileness of your character. You see, we some fragile brothers. We need to be told stuff. We need stuff. We like little babies to a certain extent until we become, right? But the fragileness is what get people killed. If you stepped on my shoe, you told me to move your car. Brother, your car is in my driveway. How come I can't ask you to move your car? A brother I know personally, somebody got shot just because he went and told the brother, hey man, can you move your car to my yard? He shot him. It seems ridiculous, but
no, I know how. Hey, bro, I know how people. I know.
Yeah, he told me what I believed in wasn't real. So now y'all trying to kill motherfuckers because somebody came to y'all temple and said, hey, brother, Elijah Muhammad wasn't perfect. So now you want to send an assault team after somebody. Hey man, your leader was wrong. The fragile masculine, it's the men that go out and do it. I know we got women doing it too, but again, in the arena of men, we got to start off, number one, with mastering our emotion. Number two, we got to start off with becoming more strong internally with the value and worth of our purpose, so that we don't, if you call me stupid, who are you? I work for the divine. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop my stupidity, even if that be true. But that's got to be done in such layers, brother, because it's been not done for so many decades. You see what I'm saying? That me and you, I don't know, I keep probably the only star football possibility that's on this link right now. But a man that's got $1 million check waiting.
Whoa. You don't disrespect Doja like that. He must didn't hear that. No.
I know Doja played football. Did Doja play football?
Yeah, he played for BG.
Oh, wait a minute. I stand to be correct. Don't send your shooters after me, brother. I stand to be correct. I apologize. but for $1 million man to go make a $10 decision is far beyond me, man. $1 million man to make a $5 or $10 decision is far beyond me. And that's what millions of our brothers are doing with all this money. They're making $10 decisions, man. Mm-hmm. You see, $10 decisions. But we know the root ain't in their money. That don't make them nobody. I don't care how many zeros behind that number. Because if they're void of their soul, that's what you arm yourself. That's what it says, put on the whole armor so that you may be able to stand. Remember, the armor is the breastplate. The breastplate had the 12 different stones, but you only needed one because your capacity was only rooted in one. And so when you put on the whole armor, I understand that they talk about the helmet of salvation and the foots of preparation, the shoes of preparation. But I'm saying the brass plate of righteousness is where the root is, and putting on an armor so that you may be able to protect yourself, because you have a birthstone. The birthstone is the energy in you to be you. See, and your only defense is if you're doing what you are supposed to do. Ain't no weapon they got for them. But we know that scripture ain't true for none of the people that's quoting it. You see what I'm saying? Johnny got killed. Ralph got killed. Cindy got molested. You see what I'm saying? Go on down the line of how people have been violated. You see what I'm saying? When in fact, grandmama said, ain't no weapon formed against us gonna prosper. It's prospering, grandma. Sorry to say it, it's prospering. You see what I'm saying? So, but what happens is you didn't put on the right armor. The helmet of salvation is your consciousness. You see what I'm saying? You don't have consciousness. You're not woke. So you can't make a rational decision because you're living in the matrix where decisions are made for you based off of the preponderance of evidence of the people talking to you. They tell you what you should be doing. They tell you why you should do this. And you see what I'm saying? You're practicing this black magic.
They got to protect themselves from themselves, first of all.
Yeah. But this black and white magic is being practiced on people, brother. We're practicing magic on people to persuade them to do our bidding. And that has never been that was not the decision, even in the dumbed down version of truth in the form of the book of Genesis. Every man could control other animals, but no man was supposed to have the power to control anybody else. See, you can suggest something to me, let me do my research, and I'll tell you if I conclude with you.
It's like when the courts spell your ass out of warrant, get your ass out there, or a subpoena.
Yeah, well, and I agree with that. If I've done something worthy, then I need to be picked up. You see what I'm saying? You better put a warrant out for me because I ain't coming in.
What I'm saying is, though, when I say, I'm just saying spelling. Just when you was talking about this spell, it's magic, it's spelling. You know, somebody writes you a summons, then you have to appear. I mean, so it's the same thing. Somebody controlling you, making you do what they want you to do.
Oh yeah, that's all in that. See, and it's in academics, because the worthlessness found in most of the people in our culture is coming from their searching in academia when they're in 4th and 5th and 6th grade to find worth and meaning, and it's being hid from them. So some of us are a little bit more wittier, and we say, well, I don't need to see no image to be successful. I don't need to see no image of brown people succeeding to be successful. I don't need to see that. But most people need that. And because they robbed us of that, most people are what other people tell them they're capable of being. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Until they run into one of you kind of guys and drop a couple of authors and they go read this book, brother. I ain't gonna say nothing after that, but just go read this book. Let me slide it under your coat, slide it in your book bag right quick. And if you
just saying what you, I had took a group of kids down to Cleveland State a couple of years ago. The so-called 100 black men was hosting something down there, and took them down there, and they was talking about success, and they had probably about 8 brothers on stage, and I just had a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I even stood up and said, like, they had to judge from East Cleveland up there. They had some guy that said he worked for IBM. And that's why I said, why didn't y'all pull the head custodian from right in this facility and have him on the stage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I mean, y'all putting in these kids' head, like, that shit ain't for all of these kids. Half these kids ain't going no damn school. They ain't gonna be no damn judge. They damn sure ain't gonna work for IBM.
But you know what?
Just cut to the shit. Don't encourage them by saying this is what success is. You can't determine success is individual. That's an individual what success is. You can't, like you see, you can't plan and tell me what success. You can't possibly tell me what success is.
But have you ever thought about it, brother? See, the drug industry has been blown up because of people that 50 years ago somebody was saying these are the people that are successful: doctors, lawyers. They smoke the most dope. You know that? They sniff the most cocaine. But I ain't trying to shame nobody. But don't you know some of the biggest degenerates is middle class people that got a high paying job, but they never got their soul back. You understand? The biggest crime of the white man isn't the money he took from you, isn't the land he took from you. It's your capacity to be. You see what I'm saying? The worst thing that the white man has ever done is went inside our mind and robbed us of consciousness, mind continuity. You understand? When you got your mind, I can put you in a hole in the bottom of the earth, brother. You're going to find a way out. See, the fictitious in the remedy. Remember, the brother started at the beginning of the show talking about problem, solution, whatever, to make you think that your problem is you don't have the right job. You didn't pick the right career. No, motherfucker, your problem is you're locked into a DNA capacity that was incapacitated. And until you unlock that DNA strand, you're going to keep on breeding and creating degenerate beings. You call it generational curses. You know what I'm saying? But what it is, yes, but what it is the success of a man or woman is measured by their ability to incapacitate the negative gene. The negative jinn in Islam, the jinn, the family of jinn, is the incapacitate that component in your being, because that's the only thing that can stop you from what we said before of living your best life. You understand? So in other words, if me and you are sitting down and we say, well, listen, let's put somebody on the stage that's a good example of being successful. I'm going to tell you that the greatest example that we can put in front of somebody is somebody to stand on the stage and say, hey man, I realize that I am my ancestors, because DNA and RNA is facts. And the issues that I have with being free is what I inherited. It was the cholesterol issues I inherited from my forefathers, the genetic dysfunctional ability that I have, I inherited from my forefathers. The incapacity to control my emotions, I got it from my ancestors. And since they didn't overcome it, and I didn't know I needed to be working on it, it kept me unsuccessful. But if I don't have $1 million in my account, and I don't have one of y'all bougie jobs, being a lawyer or a doctor, understand something. I have 10 million souls that says I'm successful because I led the captives free. Because you know, Yahshua is one of the biggest characters of what I'm saying. Remember, I told you when he went to Golgotha, he said it was finished. When he went down to Hades for 3 days, because it says he was on the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, and according to the literature, he went to hell. And when he came out of hell, he led people that were dead. They said they saw 500 souls walking in the street that was dead. But after he came out of Hades, they were resurrected. Why? Because when he stopped, I'm paraphrasing this, I'm making this my own script. When he stopped smoking, the ancestors that couldn't stop smoking said, you helped us to stop smoking because we're under your tutelage right now. When you stop badgering and beating and abusing people, you made me an abuser. When you stop being a pedophile, Uncle Willie, you delivered me because I was wrapped up in you, and I couldn't stop doing it until you stopped doing it, because that's the power of the living. You see what I'm saying? Is they can give remedies to those that can't give a remedy, and the molecule in your body can reconfigure. This is a fact. It can reconfigure to fix something that was done wrong 5 million years ago, because you are what they were. You see, you just living in a different version, but you are still them. You know the script. The script said the script said for Christian, the script said the disciples went to the Mount of Transfiguration and they saw Elijah and Moses. Those dudes 2,000 years old. How are they reappearing from wherever they came from? How is it? Why are you even bringing up their name if what I'm saying right now is not possible? So you are successful unselfishly for not only fixing what you're dealing with, but what those that came before you were dealing with. You see what I'm saying? Because not only are you remedying you, you're remedying them. And what a wonderful person that could be to confess, I'm helping my uncle. I ain't just helping me. You see what I'm saying? I get rich, I ain't gonna just help me. I'm gonna go back with my cousin and I'm gonna hook some of them up. You see what I'm saying? When you get a piece of this rock, you're gonna go back and take care of other people. That's what's gonna make you special among the people that you come from, because you are not only looking out for yourself. And that's the same thing on a spiritual level, is when I become victorious over one of the impediments that I have. Listen, I'm not trying to overcome, some of these lower vibrations that we have in our being. I'm not just trying to fix that for me. It's motherfuckers in my DNA waiting for somebody to beat this motherfucking energy because they couldn't do it for whatever reason. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. What's up, Aki? What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's up? I'm just being quiet, absorbing it all. I'm a sponge right now.
Oh no, man. So I say again, the issues is what's going on is we have violated universal laws. We ain't talking about nobody else. We ain't talking about Europeans. We ain't talking about Germans. We ain't talking about Irish. We're talking about us as a people. We have violated universal laws, and you can't get away from universal laws. And again, you sowed this seed because you were told that this would free you. You get this money. You were told this. Now these young kids don't want nothing but money. But the first question I ask when I get a guy is, "Hey, what you gonna do with that money?" You're not gonna just sit on it and love it and hug it. You gonna go try to get it. You gonna try to use it to get something.
Right.
The problem is, if I can get you to keep talking, what you're gonna use to get that money, it's gonna create more problems. It's gonna you're gonna say it, but I need to talk you slowly. Well, I'm gonna go get some this. I'm gonna go get some of that. I'm gonna say what that's gonna do. Then what's that gonna do? See, now me and you, if we got $1 trillion, if somebody gave me $500 million, I'm gonna go find the biggest the cardiologist, the most widest known cardiologist, the best specialist on dietary. I'm gonna get one of the most sophisticated hereditary PhD person, because I want them to help me in the areas which I know that's coming, even if it ain't obvious right now. I want to go get a historian. I'm definitely gonna get me a spiritualist. I'm gonna say, hey man, I don't need you to don't make no decisions for me. Just tell me what the knowledge is. Don't tell me who is God and what is God. Just put the evidence in front of me. Go get all the books that you read and put the evidence in front of me and let me consider it. And then I'll tell you in my conclusion who I think. You see what I'm saying? And what I think. But don't hubber the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? I got 500 million. I'm gonna go get people and pay them to put this in front of me. You see what I'm saying? But what we do is we go pay for more entrapments. We go pay for a bigger coffin when we get money, because the script says, seek the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom. The kingdom is the place you go to get stuff. But when you get to this kingdom, it's been robbed and pillaged. You see what I'm saying? And so now you got to dig and go into, so because it's not on your conscious mind, because they robbed your conscious mind and replaced it with bullshit. So now you got to go to your medulla oblongata. That's the Akashic records. You see what I'm saying? You can't rob from there. No, you can't rob from there, because that confession is inside the DNA and the genetic makeup of man. You can't hide it from there. So, but now I got to dig to get to it, because it's buried. You hear me? It's buried. And the only way that you can get buried information is to do spiritual rituals, because rituals, spiritual responsibility reveal phonies. You understand? What is a religious ritual? Meditation, yoga, tai chi. You hear me? Those are techniques. Now, not only qigong, pardon me?
Fasting.
Well, fasting is, so when we fast, you're trying to get control over your undisciplined body, because fasting don't give you knowledge.
Right.
It don't make you smarter. It's a cleansing process. If I'm fasting, what I'm doing is I'm cleaning out the chambers that the knowledge that's already in my genetic makeup is already sharing, but it's being blocked because cholesterol, greasy, sliding, or fats unnecessary fats that clog up the dendrite from being able to travel through the pathways, because the knowledge is inside the cell tissue. So what you do was, when you do qigong, you bring in more oxygen to cancel out the negative energy. You bring in a fresh breath of energy for your cells, because your cells need hydrogen, right, and oxygen. And so when they get their capacity up, they can go on their journey a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? So the techniques that are most spiritual is qigong, tai chi, meditation, yoga, because the word yoga means connecting yourself with the source, not God, the source, because the source of your problems is your genetics. So when you connect back to them, they're going to say, yeah, I was fucked up, because I thought fucked up was the right thing to do. You see what I'm saying? And they'll go to their grave. Certain entities will go to their grave thinking that drinking is the remedy. But if you reason with them, they're gonna say, well, I wasn't necessarily right, because I didn't do it at the right time. It's a time and a place for everything under the sun. But when I got a low capacity to drink, I can't flirt with drinking like you can. So you can drink a whole fifth and go and run around and do motherfucking interviews. But I have a low capacity in my genetics, is because every ancestor that came before me, they didn't do their due diligence to gain balance and equilibrium. See, and that's going to be the message is in your cells. It's in your cell tissue. You can when you go into meditation, you ain't talking to God. You're talking to the DNA and RNA makeup in your body, and these are entities. See, and so what me and you have to see is they took those pillars out of what the common religious outfits were. They took some of them out and they hid some of them. So, but it's good stuff there. Don't get me wrong. But the primary thing is, when you can communicate with your ancestors, those are some of your obstacles. See? And then as a syllabus, I would tell you this real quick. In any community where Black people are, you start a study group, you get a running club, you get a bike club, you get a chess club, you get any kind of group that, without talking about the problem, addresses the issues of the problem. You see what I'm saying? Because according to science, the more you talk about something, the bigger you make it. You see what I'm saying? So if me and you have a group to talk about racism, we're going to make racism bigger. You see what I'm saying? But what are the lingering side effects of racism? Okay, so we got self-esteem issues. So you think God ain't the same color as you. Okay, let's just talk about the science of the creator real quick. So we ain't got to talk about racism. We ain't got to talk about whites and blacks, because that's a dumb conversation. Because blacks are the servants, whites are the servants to blacks genetically. So I don't want to say that to them, because I still got faith in what they are and what is something they have to give to the world. I don't want to incapacitate them, but what I want to tell you is the remedy to the problem ain't talking about the problem. That's like telling a person that got raped, let's talk about that one more time. You're re-raping them. Now, it's a time to talk about that, but you can't keep talking about it, because the brain don't know the difference between now and yesterday. They don't know the difference between the truth or falsehood. The brain don't know. The brain ain't the thing in your body that makes decisions. It just puts things in perspective for you. What makes decisions in your body is your heart. So when you say something stupid and it go through your blood and go through your heart, you get an irregular beat, because your heart be like, that was stupid. Why? Because the energy capacity that went through your heart capillary is saying, woo, that voltage was negative. You feel me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And when we went through the mummification process, we took out everything else except the heart. You see what I'm saying? And when you go through the halls of two truths in the ancient Egypt, the heart man was measured by his heart. You see, not that the love you talk about love and that's my heart. No. The heart is the organ that measures the capacity of all the material, whether thought or liquid in the body. It's got to go through the heart to be gauged, and you can't lie to the heart. It's got too much cholesterol. No, it's got too much. You got too much pork. You got too much salt. You got too much sugar. I don't give a fuck about that. Go up to your brain and talk to your brain about that, whether it's good or bad. I don't know about that. I am telling you as a notification. You see what I'm saying? Something ain't right. The leading cause of death behind African Americans' existence on this planet is cardiovascular issues. I mean, the Europeans and the powers that be, they understand these things. They know these things. The leading cause of death for male and female, brother, is cardiovascular. You see what I'm saying? So your body is a gauge to tell you where you are. So when he asked Atom, where art thou? He was talking about the anatomical structure. Where you at? Because it's many dimensions of the self, so it couldn't have been talking to one part of the self. Atom, where y'all at? Because the atom got the truth in it. The atom does. Well, they call it the quark now, because inside the atom is atoms. They call it the quark. Now they call it the Zaid. So that's why they call spirituality, because it's spiraling like energy, moving, traveling like the zigzags with DNA. So they found out, well, what's telling the proton how fast to go? What's telling the neutron? Something inside of them telling them where to go. So it's something smaller than that. And that's when they went from the atom being the smallest particle to the Zaid being the smallest particle. And in fact, it's the conductor of the molecules, telling them what capacities, what widths, what lengths, growth. See, in this spirit, it's inside of every cell. You can't smash it with a hammer. You can't burn it with a fire. You see what I'm saying? It's forever and ever, and there's no way that you can destroy it. And then when you try to destroy it on a physical plane, it just get super divine and turn into antimatter. No, that shit y'all doing on the physical level is one thing. Yes, shit on the unphysical lane. So, but anyway, yeah. So I think what me and you, we got to create programs that alleviate the issues without readdressing them, because we're re-traumatizing people. We're re-traumatizing people the more you talk about these in their capacity. Get a bike club, get a diet club, get a chess club, get a walking club, get a yoga or Tai Chi club. You understand me? And once people wake up to their capacity, you let them know that you have something to offer the world. You'll see entrepreneurs popping up like popcorn. You understand? You'll see them popping up like popcorns. Because when you get into the self, you're talking about purpose. The definition of purpose, the word reasons, when you deal with the reason, when you deal with reason, you got to deal with human capacity. When you're dealing with human capacity, there's no way anyone that's studying human capacity would not leave that study session without having confidence and self-esteem. You see what I'm saying? There's no way. But we know one thing that racism does is it takes the self-esteem. Where you're black, get back. You light, you're all right. You see what I'm saying? Devil's cake, black cake. Angel's cake is white cake. All this stupid shit, dumb shit is irrational. We know that the image that they show you of Jesus is Ptolemy. It's an actual Ptolemy. It comes in soteriology, but that image is in the historical archives. So as soon as I see it in the Bible, that's not Jesus. That's a motherfucker from Greek. I mean, that's a Roman person. It's a Ptolemy. No, because the Bible says he had hair like lamb's wool and feet burnt like an oven. And I know his feet was burnt like they in an oven. I know his face was burnt like it was an oven. If his face was burnt like it was an oven, I know he come from melon. I know if he come from melon, he must come from the original people, because the original people had the pineal gland. The pineal gland was oozing out of the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, you call it. It was oozing out of there because that's where it came from. It didn't come from the sun. You see what I'm saying? The sun corroborates its existence. But black people don't come from the sun. The sun corroborates their existence. Black people comes from carbon-12. You call it melanocytes, melanin. See? So we don't argue over that. Let's get to the next question. The next question is, if somebody steal your shoes, should you give them your coat? You see what I'm saying? Can you feed 12? Can you feed 5,000 people, not including women and children, with 2 fish? Yeah, you can if you're talking about spirituality. You're talking about Pisces, because man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. So yeah, we eat food and we eat knowledge. So if that script was saying Jesus fed people with 2 fish, oh, he was talking about the energy of the Piscean age. Don't give me no bullshit about 2 fish feeding 5,000 people, not including. That means it was about 15,000 people. Are you stupid or you think I'm stupid? Next lesson, let's go to something else. Spare the rod. Spare the rod, spoil the child. First of all, you don't make people better by whooping them. And the rod is not a symbol of whooping. The rod is a measuring stick. A rod is how you measure the astrological chart. You got to use a rod. You see what I'm saying? If you spare the rod, you don't know how to measure people. If you don't know how to measure people, you don't know how to deal with them. Because discipline don't mean to whoop, it means to teach. And you don't teach everybody the same way. So push that lesson out of there based off of the way that y'all coded it and put it into the modern day literature. Because that ain't what it means. It don't mean if you don't whoop a person, you're going to spoil them. That means if you don't teach a person the right knowledge for him, you're going to make them unuseful for the people that's got to deal with them. Spoiled milk ain't bad until somebody got to drink it. So that's what we can do with that syllabus, bro. Create programs that inadvertently remedies for what they overtly created for our demise. You see what I'm saying? That's what we do. And then we don't have to deal with the side shit. The kids will wake up and say, why are they being so anti this? Because they ain't got no self-esteem, baby. Because they liars. They liars and they hypocrites. They said they didn't love you, but everything that you do is what they use to fuel their culture. They look at your dancing, they look at your music, they look at your fashion, and that's what they deal with to keep their dumb ass alive. So while they talk about you worthless and you ain't no good, tell them take off your style then. You see them? Give you back your rhythm. The damn Roman Catholic Church didn't even play music in it until black people came to give them a soul. And then, and as recent as just 2 days or 3 days ago, Thanksgiving didn't have no rational explanation until y'all came along and gave it to them and started getting y'all families together and started doing positive stuff with y'all families. Because before that, it was a dumbass, irrational conversation about an Indian. After the biggest massacre in the history of the United States of America on Indians, you're going to tell me they sat down the next day to thank God for this fucking gathering. So you definitely ain't read shit. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we've come to save them once again. You gave them a good way to celebrate Thanksgiving. Just like you gave them a good way to praise the Lord when you brought in singing in the church. Because that is the reason for church gatherings. Don't get it twisted. One of the biggest audiences that you're going to have in the church is because I came to see little Leroy sing. He sung that song, boy, I tell you. Preacher wasn't talking about shit. Leroy sung that song. You see what I'm saying? We gave them their soul. We give them their soul. So for them to have that conversation about we this and we that. Come on, man. You ain't never been over none of your partner's house, brother, have you? Because y'all some of the nastiest people in the world. I don't mean to be funny. Because when y'all had kings and queens on the planet, they was still throwing shit out of windows in Europe. See what I'm saying? They still didn't have no irrigation system. You see what I'm saying? So, and everything that y'all had that was good, it was imported. It was imported because ain't no grapes and no motherfucking fruits and vegetables growing in plentifulness in Europe. Okay? So, listen, we want to deal with some other principles. We want to deal with some principles. Hey, get up and work out. No, the Christmas tree ain't gonna make you feel good. Taking care of your body gonna make you feel good. It's in the principles. Why are you feeling good today? I woke up, I exercised, I meditated. I thanked the Creator. I thanked the Creator for my mother and my father challenging me and blase, blase. And we on to the next one. You're not walking around say I must be cursed. Well, what is your ass doing not to be cursed? You hear me? Even if it was true, are you exercising? Are you watching your diet? Because you know that you're not a useless eater. So if you are eating, it's for a reason. When I reason why I'm eating, it's for protein, it's for vitamins, it's for, you see what I'm saying? It's a reason for it. I put it through my kingdom. We eating smudge and squalor and all type of things that create this discontentment of feeling good. And then you complain. My stomach acting up. Your mind acting up, motherfucker. The stomach got food from you. You act like the stomach just started getting twisted and distorted. No, you were eating things that the stomach don't digest very well, and it told you the last time you ate it because it started cramping up. But you love to take that pain medicine, ignore it. So, but anyway, brother, and I think that syllabus works. I think that syllabus works. I think you put a syllabus to become doers. You see what I'm saying? And dealing with science and dealing with polarity and dealing with the consequences of of what it is that you redundantly keep talking about. That's why everybody got shot up in the neighborhood, nigga. Because didn't you listen to the last hit record? You see what I'm saying? They're prophesying. Nigga, look at me. I'm gonna bust one at his ass. Okay, niggas got eyes. They gonna look. So I guess niggas gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's in it's in your music. You see what I'm saying? Energy, energy flows where your energy flows where your attention goes. So energy that you have is flowing because your attention is on that. You're not talking about a remedy. You're not talking about a remedy. You're talking about the pain. You're talking about pain over and over again in your rap songs. You're not talking about the remedy. You see what I'm saying? So we used to talk about the remedies. We used to try to talk to the remedies, and when they found out that that's where y'all was going with it, that's when they started putting in, they start paying people, giving people better contracts to just keep on talking about the squalor and what's wrong in the neighborhood, and just keep that energy going. Just keep it going. Keep your attention on it. That's where the energy is going to be at. Energy flows where your attention goes.
But did you think? Did you think that a shift is taking place much faster than, I guess, than what our elders would have anticipated? As far as like the example you just gave, they're paying the people in the music industry and the movie industry bigger contracts, more money, more TV time in front of the cameras to deviate from the truth. Do you think the generation that's coming now, I guess it's called Generation X, I don't know what the next one gonna be called, are migrating or going towards that direction of back to giving the truth? Because now they see what you're talking about. They see what Ray Sean talk about, what Doja talk about, all of the negativity. Like, no, don't do that. We need to do this because they're doing that because for this reason. Now they seeing it. Do you think that shift is taking place much faster?
I think the shift is moving much faster because the narrative is being narrated by a bigger multimedia industry. So they're losing their grip on the narrators now, and that's why they're trying to they're trying to silence some of these YouTube, Facebook audiences because the story is being narrated more clear. And remember, the children are the recipients of media who has the biggest influence over them, the music and the TV industry. And that's what they've been winning. But now that's not the only narrative in town. You got these multimedias where they're telling people and sending a different narration of the time that it even is. So now those, again, remember, brother, most of the people ain't gonna make it. That's why even in the book of Revelation, they only talk about 144,000. It's over 7 billion people on this earth. How are you telling me only 144 going? The point is, the point is, it's only going to be a certain amount of people that even make it because the devil wanted your children and he got them. Period. So the time is delayed for the total remedying of the human family is delayed. You see what I'm saying? Because listen, even if an energy came to set you free, you're out of your mind. You see what I'm saying? So the time that it is, it's not the time of getting a remedy. The astrological time that we're living in right now, you call it Aquarius. Well, what is the Aquarius age? The Aquarius age is an entity pouring out electricity. You call it water. And the only people that are going to be able to capture this water is a vessel that's able to hold it. See, the Aquarius image is pouring out water, which is is a couple is a comparison to energy, and it's being poured in a bowl. The bowl is you. So, but if you don't take care of yourself, you're not gonna be able to handle the truth. Just like when you deal with people that ain't taking care of themselves, they're more irrational. The pork and the swine eaters is the people that you put in front of you to tell you whether Christianity or Judaism is even telling the truth. See, the vessel, the temple is corroded and it's making decisions. It's making bad decisions. See, but again, you're gonna lose a lot of people because what a man sow, that too shall he also reap. We're not even talking about the other people because they're not even part of this equation. We're talking about the living souls that gave their souls in exchange for something. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about people that are going to receive this information. Hey, brother, you and me, you and me, we're gonna go up Jacob's ladder. But the common folk, man, hey, bro, they casualties of war. And I'm not saying that without any sensitivity. I'm saying it based off of the science of life. And the science of life is, brother, hey, man, don't listen. Wave at them when you're driving by. Wave at them. If your electrical grid don't pull them close enough for you to give them that transforming information, leave them alone, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, leave them alone. But the magnetism of life is smart. It's smarter than you. What you were playing earlier, brother, on that, I just want you to know it's called the Protocols of Zion. He's getting that information off the Protocols of Zion of the learned elders. It's a pamphlet. You can look it up on the internet. They're going to try to give you all type of different reasons where it came from and why it exists. But exactly what he's saying, problem solution. Remember that movie called Get Smart? You remember that show?
I
Well, if you
mean,
don't, it's a
yeah,
show that they called it Get Smart.
with the
And
white guy talking to
yeah,
his shit.
each one of them had a character that was named after the problem solution. Uh, what do you say? Problem solution. What? It was third.
It's
Problem solution. Problem solution.
shit.
But anyway, that the movie is a show that they called it Get Smart, and every character was named. They had a character named Problem. They had a character named Solution. So this concept has been around for as long as television has been along, and it's definitely been along as long as secret society's been along. And secret society have been trying to give the narrative of what's going on. That's why all of the that's why all of the issues are spoken in their language. You see what I'm saying? Because as long as they can control the narrative, they have control. They did it with the fiat, with the money. They remember in 1929, they said we got to figure out how to control this money. And now they have. You see what I'm saying? By creating, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they control money. They didn't have no control over the silver certificate before. You see what I'm saying? So they gain control of that. They already hit gain control of spirituality. They put it in 3 different outfits, and all of the outfits is the same thing. That's why, and if you join one of their secret societies, you can be from one of those pillars. It doesn't matter because inevitably you got to go through all of the chambers. So they're not tripping. You see what I'm saying? But they come under their control. They control all of that. So they definitely control the negative part of it too. You see what I'm saying? They control the pagans, the have and the have nots. They figured out how to do it. You see what I'm saying? Give a remedy being money and then send the dogs out to fight for it. See? But these people are calibrating people, they're calculating people, and they use the civilization that pre-existed to fuel their existence. Babylon, the Mesopotamian, and the Persian, and the Mesopotamian, and Rome and Greek, and in Egypt. They use all of those societies to perfect their venues. And boy, have they perfected it now. You see, you can't turn on TV without seeing something totally ridiculous going on. I mean, totally ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And black people, we used to have an excuse where we say, well, we ain't like them. You're just like them now. You see what I'm saying? Killing your babies. You're killing your babies. You're beating your a man in fucking I forget where this was from. Just a football player was playing in Los Angeles on a scrimmage team, but he had made some big time he had made some prime time games, but his father shot him, and because the dog, his girlfriend's or his wife or his fiance dog bit him, and he got mad and ended up shooting a young man and killed him. This just happened. A black father killed this black son who was in the NFL. If I think he was on a practice team just recently, but he played some primetime games, but his father shot him to death because of an incident dealing with a motherfucking dog bite. You hear me? Shit. I mean, and it just gets, the more you watch the news, and I know they're controlling the narrative, and they're making people think that it's the police against black men, but black men are against black men. Fuck, what are you watching? The biggest enemy of black people is the police. Wait a minute, hold up, man. You ain't side. I understand they play a part, but don't think for no 1 minute that the urgency is for you to run and talk about the police. You better go find little Day Day. You better go find motherfucking little Ray Ray. You better go find them. Because they out there shooting kids and innocent women. They robbing old people. You hear me? Period. Period.
Shit,
They're negating.
they found the 80-year-old woman in the bushes in Euclid.
See?
Somebody had beat her to death.
Hey, she might have been a motherfucker. Hey, see, it's so fucked up out here now. We would think a crime against an old person was a bad crime until you find out what the old person was doing.
Well, no,
that's like, but I'm saying that's how crazy shit is.
Yeah, but she had just cashed her check.
Yeah.
Walking home and somebody robbed her, hit her across the head. She couldn't take it.
Yeah. Can you stand the rain though, brother? Can you fight through the currents of this and use your spiritual gifts, fight this rain for that better day to come? Can you put on your whole armor and make it through, like when the flood of Noah came and then they said 8 souls. This is all symbolic, but it's eight people survived because they knew the right thing to do. But it's inevitable that calamity and disaster was coming. That's where we at. You know what I'm saying? It ain't coming, it's here, depending on who you are. You see what I'm saying? But what can you do? And my answer to a person is you got to put on the whole armor. You see what I'm saying? You got to put on the whole armor. And it ain't no one thing. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't facing the same issue. But what it is spirituality being given back to the people so that they can gauge where they are and what they're dealing with. That's the syllabus, and it ain't consciousness. Because if it was consciousness, you know, everybody know they wrong when you catch them. Motherfuckers robbing banks, killing kids, killing mothers, killing babies' mamas. I mean, I shouldn't have did that. Well, he conscious. That's not what we're talking about. Consciousness is the first level of remembering. So you got to be conscious to start the process. But I could be a good guy in a bad dispensation. I'm a good guy in a bad dispensation. In other words, it's going to take me 100 years to get out of this squalor that my ancestors and I myself have been complicit in. See? Because you don't just get out of university principles by saying, I'm sorry and I accept Jesus as my personal savior. Shit just don't run away. DNA don't recalibrate that way. That's why in ancient Egypt, they said you got to do my every day, right? Not on Sundays, not on Fridays, and not on Wednesdays. The night when the brothers meet, it says do my daily. See, and in the beginning, you used to say, I will not, I shall not, and at the end of the day, you say, I have not, or I still am. You know, they call them the 10 Commandments or the negative confessions or the admonitions. They used to say them twice a day, brother, because they was trying to cancel out. And it was every single day, twice a day. I shall not in the morning. At the end of the day, did you not cuss somebody out? Well, I had to cuss this nigga out, Rant. You know what I'm saying? I had to cuss the nigga out. So I'm gonna work on that tomorrow if the creator give me spite.
So so take it in to what you just said about having to deal with
Yo,
with
you get
things.
turn your mic up or something. Can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So taking into consideration, like you just said, um, having to deal with things that our ancestors were dealing with. When do we, or how do we do us, if that make any sense? Like, how do we live our life if we happen to exist but yet deal with the issues that our ancestors hadn't resolved themselves? So how do we live our life?
That was the question, well, almost 2 hours ago. What's the syllabus?
Oh, okay. I tuned in late. My fault.
No, I'm just saying though, it's kind of the same question I asked. Like, it's what I'm saying. Like 2 hours ago, like, what's the syllabus to this class? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you know? How you know? How you know what you got to correct when you don't know what was wrong? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
No,
Right.
that's kind of
no,
what
no.
we're talking about.
But look though, so if something happened to you today, Key, who do it affect?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
If something happened to you today, who do that affect?
Me.
No, it's affect everybody that depend on you.
Oh
It,
yeah. When you put it like that, yeah.
I mean, that's the only way to put it because everybody is a part of a family. So it's nothing that
Right.
there's nothing that you're gonna do that don't adversely affect other people. So there's no answer. There's no selfish answer. In other words, well, how can I get out of all this shit and just let me get my shit together? No, you are created as a social being, and things you do are inwardly and inwardly connected. Period. And so you're not going to get out of something because what's got a hold on you is an entity, a deity, but it's what really is your ancestors. You can call it the devil, but it's your entity that is entangled in this scenario with you. So you can't beat it without beating the lesser part of yourself. That's why in ancient Egypt, the knowledge of self is where was the most important rule of study, is because when you deal with yourself, you're naturally dealing with what comes along with you, which is that old crooked walk from your grandfather, that old slang language from your auntie, that old broken language which was by your grandfather. And the worst thing is that stubborn attitude that you inherited from your great great grandfather. That's what's nagging you. And you can't beat it until you beat the lesser part of you, which is a part of them. So you're not in it by yourself. There's no quick fix. It's not no let me do my part and get out of this motherfucker. Because what's got a hold on you is going right with you. You see what I'm saying? That's like taking a person.
Okay.
That's like taking a person from the projects to Hollywood and then want them like all of a sudden getting to act all of a sudden start to act like they in Hollywood. No, they gonna act like they, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have to hush them up for a minute and say, come on over here with me right quick. Hey, shut up. Don't be talking like,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Until you clean them up. You see what I'm saying? Until you clean
Yeah.
them up. So it's a group effort. And when you think of you got to think of your ancestors. You see what I'm saying? It's a part of the analogy. It's say, when I do this, I'm not only remedying my personal issue, I'm remedying people that was never able to remedy their issue when they was on this planet because they didn't have the knowledge. We was in captivity. You see what I'm saying? So when you get victory, they gonna get victory. You all, if you
Okay.
study DNA, you'll understand this better. It ain't no me. It ain't no me without us. You see what I'm saying? It ain't no one quick remedy. It ain't no one thing that's gonna fix this, that's gonna make you better. If you can't fix what comes along with you, you it's no it's no way possible. These entities ain't gonna let you do it, man. They won't even let you sleep. You got motherfuckers that can't sleep right because of the ancestors that's in their DNA make keep coming to you in these crazy stories. You think a dream is a nothingness experience when in fact this is about as real as you are walking around here right now. You see? And that's where the energies or the deities deal with you when you stop having forceful existence, which is in your sleep or your rest, the night shadow hour. That's when they come and try to get control of your thoughts because you got too much control in the daytime when you woke. You see what I'm saying? That's why the moniker stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. Even when you sleep, stay woke. You learn to be consciously, unconsciously through meditation, and that's an arduous job in itself. But that's when you get to conscious unconsciousness, you can be in your dream and still have a narrative. You can have control, so you won't have a heart attack in your dream, or fall like and feel like you falling and can't get up, or feel like running you can't run fast enough because whatever's chasing you keep catching up with you and you can't get away because you don't have no control because you're not woke in your dream. You see what I'm saying? So my answer to that, even though it's been an hour and 56 minutes, brother, the answer is the way that you handle your business is you handle who your business is. And according to DNA, you ain't just you. You see, according to RNA, you ain't just you. So because you got a problem with chicken wings, when you stop eating chicken wings, don't mean you don't stop issues. You see what I'm saying? That don't mean you're gonna stop having issues with your cholesterol. You see what I'm saying? So me and you, we look at it as it's an individual challenge. Well, what do I need to do? Okay, I told you as a grid, most people got more things in common than they do different. But as a grid, you start a diet program, you start a exercise program, you start a study program for consciousness. You only study to get awareness. You ain't changing shit because you read 5 books and you know who started. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean shit. Okay, you know who all did this and all them people did that. Why are you not ecstatic and happy about your life? Because you ain't in your purpose. You see what I'm saying? It's not, that's it. And you can be smart as you want to be and still be miserable like most people, the lawyers, the doctors are some of the most miserable people in this world, man. These motherfuckers, these jobs that we call high end paying job, they the most miserable. And I'm gonna tell you why. Is because they know stuff that they can't talk about because it's gonna fuck with the way they live. Even though that's a piece of shit too, but they can't say nothing about it. That's how they get their money.
Man, I say that shit all the time. You know, I got a lot of fraternity brothers and Sonic brothers, and I say, man, y'all down with white supremacy just like the gangbangers is. Because y'all can't stand up and say shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to protect y'all little life, your little car, your little job. Y'all can't say shit. Y'all can't get on live and talk like I fucking talk. That's what I'm telling you. I might not make $100,000 a year, but shit, I's free.
Right. Yeah. But yeah,
Y'all can't have facial hair on your hair. You can't grow locks. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Right. But I try you try to add that to your daily routine. Try to become a little bit more aware of what it is that you're actually doing. And it's like, "Man, I ain't happy
Right.
doing this. And why am I doing it? Why this?" And remember, 88 repetitions scar the subconscious mind. So when you do something more than 88 times, because the number 88 is a symbol of the term infinity, what happens, you do stuff over and over again, that's how you scar your mind. Your mind, remember, it scars more than anything else. Saying that's why it's wrong or it's not as good for you to talk about negative thing because you're scarring your memory. So what happens, I like old school music, but I try to listen to music that don't have nothing to do with the past more than with old music. Old music naturally take your memory back to memory lane. You know what I'm saying? Right back down to memory lane where you're trying to get away from those thoughts. So you got to lessen that. I'm not telling you to get rid of it, but you got to create a sound um, pattern because we love music. We was created through vibration, so we love music. You just got to create other music channels that don't remind you of scars that are negative. Some scars,
I
you know,
ain't seen that. I think that's one advantage I probably have over a lot of people, the way I think, the way I think. Even though I grew up down the way in the hood, I ain't have a bad upbringing. Like I ain't have a traumatic life. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't see people get. I ain't never seen anybody get killed. You know how people. I told I got shot right. I ain't never seen that shit. I ain't
well,
never been abused.
well,
I
you
ain't
got
never been beat. I ain't never been raped. I ain't never been touched. So it's
right,
just, you know, I think
but
it's
you've been scarred. But you've been scarred because of the way you've seen people project their spiritual enlightenment. That's a negative thing. You see what I'm saying? Um,
yeah, but
you
the
ain't never
music.
seen nobody. You've not seen traumatic, detrimental stuff, but you have seen low vibrate capacity behaviors, which lowers your vibrational capacity to be. You see what I'm saying? You was cheated out of the right to see gods. You just talk about them. See what I'm saying? And that's why we become discouraged in becoming who we feel in our soul we should be, but we don't have no capacity because we don't know what to do. See what So you've been cheated out of the right, you know what I mean? Because it's every human right to become a witness of God by other God like people. But we ain't grew up around that. We ain't see that. Plus we was humping on girls. I don't know if you was like that when I used to be humping on girls and saying
I'm
all that.
appalled. I'm appalled.
You know what I'm saying? And then some of those bad habits linger even till this day. You see what I'm saying? We still wrestle with them in certain capacity.
You still out
So
here? You still out here dry humping, man?
but I'm saying, you know, in all honesty, you know, take a God to know a God. You know what I'm saying? It take being around God to know. And so Jesus told the people, he said, well when did I see you? He said, if you do this to the least of these of my children, you're doing it also to me. Because humans got to grow into God divinity. They have to grow into. You don't just become it. This is a maturation planet. And people say, man, you a God. No, you ain't no God. Just because you come from God don't mean you know God. You on Jacob's ladder on the first ladder and talking about you God because you brown skinned it. You such a fool. You see what I'm saying? You out of your fucking mind. You got to evolve. You got to evolve into God. You see what I'm saying? Then once you find out what God is, it's going to trip you out because your capacity to deal with God is depending on the level where you are. And when you get to your capacity, when you like God, you're not going to talk about stupid shit. So you're not going to be walking around to myself, I'm God. You're going to be doing God. You see what I'm saying? So the whole evolution to how people think is being put in captivity. You see what I'm saying? That's why if I ask you a question, it could just fuck you up. You see what I'm saying? Right now, just ask you a basic question. Like, so real quick. So, all of us believe in a higher power. So tell me if you run into the Creator tomorrow, what is your narrative? To make a long story short, the person that's becoming God don't have no narrative because they life them. They're gonna say I don't have to say. But a person that's illusion, he gonna say I helped these kids, I paid for people to have turkeys, and I fed dogs that didn't have no home. What they got to do with you? What do they have to do with you? What you look like going to God telling them, like, it presuppose the Creator don't already know. You see what I'm saying? That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you ask a question is the way that you ask a question, that's the answer, not the answer. The way you ask a question is the answer. That's what I would say to a person. Because what I'm gonna say to y'all is what I'm thinking. So what would I have to? Well, I ain't gonna. Because I'm gonna say I was what I did, whether it be good or bad. And I have enough respect for you to tell you that instead of saying some hypocritical shit. You know what I'm saying? But the white man got going to heaven has some type of conversation going back and forth like you on trial and shit. You sound crazy. You see what I'm saying? So become what you think you should be, because that's going to be your best answer when you go to wherever this deal is. You see, don't be on that path. Be on that path. You see what I'm saying? The lady told me she's working on this and that and this and that. I said, well, that ain't enough. And if you're on a path, why didn't you do what the path dictated to do? You too busy trying to do what you should be doing. You're too busy doing what you're trying to do instead of doing what you are doing. Just be it. You know what I'm saying? Just be it. And then you don't have to justify it. And if it ain't perfect, that's okay, because I ain't say I was perfect. I'm on that pathway. I'm on redemption. I'm showing you I'm on redemption because I'm doing crunch. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing all the things that's going to remedy what my issue is. If a person don't want to get on that path, bro, it ain't no worries. They'll come running to you next week. They'll come running to you like, man, I done fucked up all my bill money. Huh? We even talking about this kind of talking. You say you belong to the lodge. How is the lodge trying to do so many things good instead of trying to get people to be? We're trying to do so many things so we can be looked at as a group that's doing something as opposed to doing something, which is the only thing you can do is fix you. So if a motherfucker want to know how to make money, well, let me tell you what I've been doing. The nigga want to stay like, why you always happy? Well, let me tell you what I've been doing. Why you ain't looking at negative like the cup is halfway empty? Let me tell you what I can talk about the cup halfway empty or whatever, but this is what I've been doing, man. I wake up saying, why? Why? That's where you got to get, brother, because your energy is created by your core thought process, and your energy supersedes. In other words, they get where you going before you get there. You see what I'm saying? So you can't remedy yourself by being yourself, because yourself ain't just you. In other words, I deal with them niggas when I get there. No, I'm gonna deal with y'all niggas before I get there. Because when my energy is right, you ain't gonna have no control over the situation. Be like, damn, I'm about to get this nigga. I don't know why. My energy. So when I come to you, you already got a certain disposition because of the energy atmosphere. You see what I'm saying? Like your good name, it precedes you. Somebody hear about you coming, they already know you coming. They're gonna be like, oh shit. They're gonna decision about what it is that. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's my thought process.
Yeah.
That 2 hour remedy, bro. That syllabus is the knowledge itself, and depending on who you talking to.
The next thing is to put it on paper.
Yeah, and yeah, put it on papyrus, which is put it on wood, which is putting it on the definition behind. The first thing used as a barrier between man and the creator was a tree. And the tree really is symbolic of your brain and your nervous system. You see what I'm saying? And so when you write on a papyrus, you're really writing on you writing on the dendrites, the nervous system. So you got to put it here. You got to write it down here. You see what I'm saying? And I'm telling you this for a reason, is because when you write down stuff that the society you live in starts saying that's anti-terrorist, it's anti this, it's anti, they're gonna have it in black and white in your writing, and there ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do. But when you put it in your mind and you share it with people, then it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? But you're not gonna have me write. You're not gonna have me writing certain stuff down. That's why some stuff I don't even do on YouTube. I don't even do them. That's just the way it is. And remember, the best part of history is oral. You hear me? And if you privileged to be there, that's you're a blessed person. You see what I'm saying? Because if you wasn't there,
I don't like talking to people though.
your magnetism, it says that people that you magnetize to are the only people you're supposed to be dealing with anyway. So the other people probably don't even matter, because the law of attraction says that you got a magnet in you. And whether you, even if when you say you don't like certain kind of people, it ain't that you don't like people, it's that certain kind of people because of your memory. You see what I'm saying? But all things
I love people. I just don't like talking to them.
it's all good,
Like
bro.
you say, I talked to who talked to me, man. Other than that, I keep it moving.
Yeah, it's all good, bro.
I keep
But
it moving.
but yes, it's this is the time where you kind of remember when the Ptolemies, or when the Romans, uh, when the Romans really started taking over, the people that were smart, they just got out of the way and did what they did to preserve whatever little that they wanted to preserve. But most people got out the way because they knew what it was, you see. And now we have today. Because to get to today from where we used to be, there had to be a lot of decisions for people to just move on over. A lot of them were killed. You see what I'm saying? I ain't saying everybody just rolled over and played dead, but I'm saying something is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? And something is going to escape that and come back into fruition later. But as a matter of fact, the Romans is running shit. That's all it is to say. And you went from the have-nots to the haves. And these motherfuckers is, hey, you got to sit down and do some research and just do your homework on these motherfuckers, because it's a great story, man. I'm telling you, from the caves. Hey, these people was crawling around on their bellies. You hear me?
To living in your castle.
Nigga, they telling you, well, not you, but you feel me. That's a great story, man. That's a great story. They was throwing shit out the window. They was just throwing shit out the window yesterday. Eating with their hands. All the foods mixed together. Just
living with the livestock.
Living with the livestock. And look at them. Look at them now, man. Look at them now. So, and see what's going to get you as a people out of the condition that you're in is going to take something similar to that. So that's why you don't discount white people. You see what I'm saying? Because they went from unbelievable to believable, even though they still unbelievable. Put that on a shirt. Shit. From unbelievable to believable, even though they're not believable. You see what I'm saying? How did they do that? That's what you're gonna have to do. You see what I'm saying? Because these kids, man, whew, I went and bought a bulletproof vest just to drive. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to catch a bullet driving down the street. It don't mean I don't have faith in the all, but it's just like shit, man. These niggas is just having shootouts in the broad daylight.
Don't care.
At schools, at the light in the middle of the street.
They
You
had
see?
some 15-year-old boy shot 9 people in a school in Michigan today, killed 3 people, injured 6 more.
They still got the numbers keep going up. At first it was 3 and then it was 8, but you said it's at 9 now.
So
And he told them what he was gonna do. He told some of the students. See, but because of the people that change some of this stuff, they got this matrix mind. Man, I ain't snitching. What do you mean? What do you mean snitching? You're not with them. They talk too much. They always gonna get caught. They just don't know it. Dumbass niggas talking about some only reason we got caught because somebody snitched. No, you got caught because you dumb and you're gonna listen. Ain't I don't where you getting this stuff from? You think you're gonna do something and ain't nobody gonna know? You ain't gonna shut up. The niggas that shot young dog, they went and made videos the next night. And even if you weren't with them, you were complicit in the fact that you either know who it is or you know who doing it. Making mute these these $1 million people can't keep a lie quiet. You see what I'm saying? What a person with low self-esteem what chance do they have? Because they want to say something because that's going to qualify them. So they're going to tell on themselves later. Because listen, the nature of humans is confession. We gonna tell. It just depends on when. So why would you play a game that's based off telling when you're gonna inevitably tell? And listen, whatever you get, when you get caught, it ain't gonna be worth it. You're gonna say it wasn't even worth it, man.
Hey, I was listening to a Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross interview. He was talking about the guy that got him set up and sent to jail twice. And the interviewer asked him, "Look, if you walk in this room right now, what would you say to him?" I say, "I shake his hand. I won't say nothing to him." He said, "I realized that shit telling is part of the game.
Yeah.
You in the dope game, you in that, somebody gonna tell on you.
Period.
Nobody gonna sit down for 30 years because they don't want to say your name. You crazy?" That's
right.
part of the game. You know that.
Facts.
It's illusion. It's illusion, man. But like I said, you can remedy somebody by just taking them to the chambers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's have a conversation right quick, brother. And I know what I'm saying ain't gonna change you overnight because it took a bunch of thoughts to get you to where you are now. I'm just trying to plant a seed. Because when you wake up, I ain't gonna have to tell you what to do. Remember, religion is not based off the whole structure they even have today. Religion was made off of the fact or created with the knowledge that everybody was their own and they had the consciousness of the creator in their mind. And when they lost their mind, they had to run and write it down on tablets and shit like that. But the real reasoning behind the creation of people was everybody was supposed to have it, and the consciousness was supposed to make you reduce the deductive and inductive logic would lead you to a remedy. Not nobody sitting nowhere telling you, and just because you ain't heard the speech, that's why you ain't doing right. Come on, man. Or you ain't read this book, that's why you don't know nothing. Nope. It was within the grasp of every human being. That's what the original man was made. And so when you get back to that, you're going to get back to what I'm implying now. Is give people information, them to think and reason, and then leave them alone. And whatever they did, they're going to say, but because of this reason. And that's creator got to accept that.
That's the true definition of education.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to sit there and just talk and tell somebody what it is. No, that's not what education is.
Yeah, get them the tools they need to make the decisions they need to make. You know what I'm saying? Give them the tools. And that's what, when you say bless somebody, God bless somebody, the word bless means to give the people the tools that they need to do to actually accomplish their purpose. So if I bless you, I'm giving you a tool to help you accomplish your purpose. So that's how I bless you. But if I do something that don't have nothing to do with your purpose, that don't even go together. The word blessing is to empower you with tools to help you accomplish your purpose. Period. Period. Dot. Period. So when a person be saying God bless you, so what do you know what you're talking about? Okay, well then go on somewhere then. That shows that you under some type of spell or hypnotic because you talking that like me and you at a football game tomorrow. Some man, I got some, I'm trying to sell these cookies. We at the football game, bro. We cheering for these. What are you talking about? Cookies? I mean, just talking to somebody that's displaced in their consciousness, that lets you know they don't know where they at. That's irrelevant. Every conversation is supposed to be built off relativity. Where are we and what are we doing? That's the basis of how this conversation should be going.
That's why
That's
I say I don't. That's why I say I don't like to talk to people. It's just like most of the time it's just irrelevant rhetoric. It's just I mean
Yeah, but I hope we said something. So these conversations, brother, they go on a link and they can be they
yeah,
can be viewed or yeah, okay.
yeah. You can go on my page on Facebook or YouTube and share it or download it. Or whatever.
Yeah. So hopefully anything that we said today was something somebody can grab a hold of and start the process, because everything is a process and there's levels to it. And if you're absolutely blessed, you got all the tools, things will just start configuring a little bit more expeditious for you, but necessary to that day when you wake up, you go, I feel good, man. I really feel good. It ain't fake. You ain't making it up. I feel good because you are addressing the issues that you were created to do. And hopefully, when we hear, that's the business. When
Yeah,
you
we're
say
gonna
I'm
get back on and do and doing more often. This shit's getting colder now though, so in the summertime it's kind of hard to do these because I be out, you know what I'm saying, shit grinding all day. So
right.
I'll be coming to the house and it be hot. I ain't got no AC, so I ain't sitting in this damn room sweating. Do no live stream. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
time, that's my season.
yeah. And then the lodges, wherever they are, start implementing stuff to make people challenge themselves and see the true condition of themselves. You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna think about getting back to the lodge, bro. I ain't stepped a foot in the lodge in about 3 or 4 years. I had to step away from that shenanigans and shit for a while. It's like being around a bunch of people, dude. Oh man, it's just irritating. Get irritating. I had to just step away from that shit. Like, man, I can't. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't. So I'm thinking about going back though. I'm gonna probably go back.
Right. And I'll tell you one last other just thing to share. So everything that is going on in the world is being created. Like, it's no mystery for certain people what's going on because it's been created to do exactly what it's doing. It's funny that during this part of the season you celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. The ancient So the Zionists that stole our way of life, they didn't steal it. They just borrowed it and tried to lie and say they were the creators of it. But notice when they study Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, notice that this is the time of the year to be getting yourself, atoning for yourself, getting yourself together, and apologizing to those that are part of your clan of any infractions. We get into it, and that's our biggest obstacle. First of all, not knowing what we need to do to get better. And then secondly, we offend people all the time because we're so grotesque in our character, right? We are always offending people by the way and what we do. And so this is part of the year that should be fixed. What we do is we try to cover it up with gifts and shit. You see what I'm saying? And instead of doing the real thing is real people apologize and fix it with people, we're gonna try to find something to put over it, and as though it's gonna just go away, and it ain't.
Right.
Or and again, what I would tell a person to do is learn what Yom Kippur is and Rosh Hashanah, and try to re-implement it in some other language. Remember, Farrakhan tried to use the Day of Atonement and the Million Man March for Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. You see what I'm saying? And when all brothers get together and let bygones be bygones, and all different groups got together, you see what I'm saying? And so that what he wanted it to be a yearly thing, but what it was doing was man, put away our differences and let us come together. And we did it in the form of a million man march. You see what I'm saying? But it made us deal with atonement. And what haven't I been doing? Not what they haven't been doing. what have I not been doing? It's an accountability. So it's something to think about. Yeah, but the lodge, wherever you go, brother, wherever you go, you're gonna have a capacity of people to share stuff with, and hopefully it influence them in the best way for their self development and for their reconstruction. That's all you want to do anyway.
Mm. All
Yeah.
right, you got anything, Key? We've been on here about 2.5.
Oh yeah.
I get up at 4:35 in the morning. So.
God bless you, brother.
I
Yeah.
can't. My body. I can't. It could be a Saturday, man. 5 o'clock, 5 on the Saturday, 5:30. I'm up.
Wow.
I'm up for the day.
Yeah.
My daughter's like, "What are you doing? Making all that noise in the kitchen? Yeah, I'll make me some breakfast. I'm up."
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning getting it in.
Wow.
Just all depends.
Wow.
Because I like to take off of work. I make my own hours, but I like to get out at 7. So I can be back by 3. I ain't trying to spend all my, you know what I'm saying, 7 to 3. Winter
Yeah.
time. Mm-mm.
Well, all
But I
right,
like to
brother.
go like around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, be done 10, 11 hours later.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
So
I'd appropriated my money this winter to where I ain't really got to do no jobs until September.
right.
Man, that's the key. And I would tell you, I said, people
Right.
try to make money so they can come outside. I said, I try to make money so I can stay in the house. You know, I don't want to go out there, man. I make money so I can stay in the house, not go outside. Shit, man,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
If these
difference.
next 3 weeks go according to plan, I'll be able to spend not the whole winter, but pretty much the winter in the house if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna still be for hire, but yeah, I done put it to where all this money is right over here in this little stash. So rent, um, bills, and then food money is already in the side pocket.
You
So
might have to come down here to Atlanta and do something to this backyard.
uh, shit, man, I just went. I went to Virginia to my little niece's backyard. I probably did like $7,000 worth of work. I cut down trees. I put a fence up. I power washed her. It was incredible. When I was only there for 2.5 days, but
Yeah.
I did I think we had a 250 feet, uh, a little C shape in our backyard. I put a fence up, and she and my sister, the dude that normally helped me do the fencing here. Of course, I ain't taking with me, but so I had my little nieces and my sister that helped me put a fence up, and it was the biggest fence that I put up. So we put some backbone, we put some work in it, and then I trimmed the trees and I cleaned our gutter out, and like I said, power washed the house. So it's like, man, all of that stuff I've been doing because I wasn't known for doing none of this stuff. It enabled me to when my niece was able to buy a house that I was able to help her as an uncle. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to telling,
Right.
you tell people what to do. Some people just they need your energy, they need your
Right.
effort. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man, and again, it's not that I'm doing it for the money. I really enjoy doing that type of work. Putting the fences up is better. Even I've been working as a supervisor for the juveniles and the DD population. Those are great jobs, and that's something you want to put in on your crown that you have done. But man, no, nothing feel better than doing some of the work that I've been doing as far as this personal entrepreneur, uh, type work. It don't nothing beat it. Don't nothing beat it. So, but I gotta be thoughtful in the money that I get because I gotta appropriate it right. So it's forcing me to do what is the manly thing to do anyway. And for all of us, you can't, with your first check, you can't go buy the new Nikes and the latest gear. You got to put something in that less. That's called the less stress less box.
Mm.
All the
Yeah.
bills, food is taken care of. You can jerk off and play hooky, whatever else you want to do. You know what I'm saying? When that money is secured, you ain't got to worry like, damn, I got to go out here and, so we'll see how it happens, see if the energy keep flowing. But yeah, brother, yeah, I say when I get real good, that's when I really will be able to jump on a plane and be motherfuckers. They be like, "Damn, when you went there to do a job, you must really be good." I say, "Yeah, man." Before I get 80, I want to be able to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, it's been real, brothers. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for we finally got it together, brother. And
Yeah,
like
man.
somebody pick up this link and they be happy with it.
Yeah, you gotta, like I said, you can go on there and share it on the Facebook, YouTube. I need to get on. I need to put. I ain't been on Instagram. I don't even. I got an Instagram. My daughter made me one, but I don't never go on that shit. So
Right.
I might have to go on there and see how to go. You know, so because right now we live on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So I need to add Instagram to that, so we can go live on Instagram too.
Okay.
That's where everybody at anyway. Instagram.
Right.
So yeah. So all right, fellas. Shit, maybe this time next week.
Hey, just
Yeah.
let me know. Just let me know. All right. Take care of yourself, bro.
All right, peace.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Playboy. And that's it, folks.